OKC with a thunderbolt here in the fourth. Once again showing their resilience. And these NBA finals are tied at 2 games apiece.
Yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How are you going? Are you right? You should be. Why is that, Jim? Well, it's Saturday, isn't it? And the NBA Finals are 2-2. That's right. I'm your host, James Clements. This is NBA Straya here in Larry Armour Studios on a Saturday afternoon after a raucous, ridiculous, abysmal finish to a Game 4 from the Indiana Pacers that has us tied up at 2-2. This is awesome. This is our rapid reaction show. So, we've got a little bit of other news and stuff in there as well, but mostly today we're just going to do the game wrap of Game 4 of the NBA Finals. That's not a knife, old mate, no mate, Spud of the night, better than Lonzo Ball. All that good stuff. I've got some good yeah-nahs in there as well. But also, we'll do, a pick and preview for Game 5, which is not until Tuesday. But here we are. We're reacting to an insane game. It came down to the wire, and Indy didn't win. So, plenty to unpack there. Let's get into it. Episode 1288 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
Oh, you better watch out for the attack of people taking photos of you on your phone. Isn't that right, Stephen A. Smith? I mean, it's horrible. It's no other way to put it. I mean, it is horrible. It's no other way to put it. The photo of Stephen A. Smith on his phone playing solitaire during an NBA Finals game. I want it to be fake. I also want it to be real because it just kind of sums up everything wrong with all sorts of coverage in the NBA ecosphere, and it shits me up the wall. Hey, anyway, let's get into today's show. The way we start every show here at NBA Australia, it's usually with a bit of a the daily whip around, Jim. Yes. Oh, wow. Before we just wrap up Game 4, which was absolutely chaos, and I'm still reeling. I was watching the end of it with the eldest Squid. He's like, Dad, why are Indy not being good? And it's like, that's essentially the exact right question you should be asking. Because they're playing like shit. Anyway, but before we get into that, quick little wrap up of the news in the last 24 hours or so. I mentioned on yesterday's show, there's one person out there that the Knicks should hire, and it's Ange Postecoglou. I'm just waiting. Make it happen, Knickerbockers. We're going to go full Ted Lasso. All he does is bring titles or trophies wherever he goes. Seriously, you hire Ange, Knicks, and you will have an NBA Cup or an NBA title by 2027. Just saying. It's just maths. It's just science. Make it happen, Leon Rose. Anyway, other little bits and bobs. Russell Westbrook is opting out of his player option, so he's going to be an unrestricted free agent when we hit free agency. That's fine. Sure. The other bits for the Nuggets. Obviously, Nikola Jokic. DeAndre Jordan was on an interview and he was like, hey, what's going on with Nikola? And he was like, yeah, he's just hanging out in Serbia. He sent me a picture of him with a horse, like a selfie of him and the horse together. I was like, all right, have fun, brother. That is the most Jokic shit ever. Just out here taking selfies with horses. Who doesn't do? I still take fucking selfies with the dog. He's pretty cool. He's a bit cooked now with his diabetes, but he's all right. He's still keeping on, FYI. Anyway, other little bits and bobs. Trey Murphy, apparently all reports are, look, the Pelicans are not... Basically, they're asking for a king's ransom for anyone who wants to trade for Trey Murphy, which, if you're the Pelicans, the thing you should be doing is keeping Trey Murphy, because the rest of your team's a bit shit. You keep Zion, you keep Trey Murphy, everything else is up for grabs if I'm the Pelicans, which I'm not. I can be called a bit of a Pelican on the odd occasion, but also I'm not Joe Dumas, not yet. I've only got one phone. And the last little one, Shams. He's just got such a boner about KD, but it does sort of feel like we'll get a KD trade before the draft, which just makes sense because it means the Suns can get picks in return for KD and actually use them to help reload this horrible roster they've built. So apparently, according to Shams, the focus of the Suns conversation has been a few of the teams, and here they are. The Houston Rockets, the Miami Heat, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. KD on the Heat just sucks. That team just sucks anyway. They just need an absolute gut it, rebuild it from the bottom up kind of approach. But then you sort of think about it, you go, as long as they've got Tyler Hero, KD, and Bam, it's not bad in the East, is it? Despite KD being 300 million years old. Obviously, the Wolves, that makes a lot of sense. Just plug him into the Julius Randle spot and away you go. Next to Ant-Man and Rudy Gobert, perhaps. Or maybe Gobert's in the trade. Who knows? Machinations, baby. And the Houston Rockets, obviously, it does feel like that would be an ideal trade partner if you're the Suns, because you can get a couple of young dudes, maybe a pick or two as well, and you're laughing. So either way, that's the KD stuff. Hey, who cares? Let's wrap up Game 4 of the NBA Finals. What a game it was. Game wrap, game wrap, game wrap, game wrap. Wow, did Indy fuck this? Woo! 111-104, the Oklahoma City Thunder absolutely fucking torched the Pacers down the stretch on a 12-1 run in the final 3 minutes of this game to even up the NBA Finals at 2-2. And I tell you what, said it on yesterday's preview show. Keep saying it time and time and time again. This is an overreaction business. That's what the NBA is about. Everything that just happened, we have to overreact to. I.e., oh my God, the Thunder are going to win all the games straight. Why did they change their starting lineup in game 1? It completely fucked them. Now they've gone back to their original one. They're going to win them all. We might be right there. That might be true. But this is how that game started. They went back to Isaiah Hartenstein, hello, in the starting lineup instead of Case and Wallace. And in the same way that, like, changing the lineup in game 1 worked until the last fucking third of a second in game 1, this was like, it wasn't really making much of a difference. The Pacers got off to a fucking flyer and they looked awesome. They shot like, 9 of 12 to start the first quarter. It was incredible. They had 8 assists on 9 makes. It was like a 9-point game very quickly. OKC reeled them straight back in though, like without, too much effort either. It was a 9-0 run. Like Dort hits a 3. It's 24-24. SGA though, and those are the little tweaks that we sort of were expecting. It's game 4 of the finals. The adjustments are going to be pretty fucking small, right? And this one was like, we're going to send SGA to the bench a little bit earlier in the first quarter than we would. And I'll tell you what, I think it paid off, Jim. Oh, do ya? Yeah, because guess what happened at the very fucking final part of this game? He was fresh as a daisy, despite looking pretty cooked earlier on in that fourth quarter, because he kept getting to the line, hit some shots, won them the fucking game. Was it because he got an extra couple of minutes rest in the first quarter? Maybe. Just saying. But Siakam had like 4 steals in that first quarter, the most in a finals quarter since LeBron in 2013, I think it was. And for all of that, though, where OKC can't hit a 3 all fucking game, Indy are hitting their 3s. And as I said in the video this morning and in yesterday's show, if Indy hit their 3s, they can win this game. Indy hit their 3s and should have won this fucking game. Because then they, at the very end, went away from their offense and it completely fucked them. But either way, both teams were shooting the piss out of it. And the big difference in the first quarter was that there was 5 Oklahoma City turnovers that led to like 10 Indy points. But it was still just a 1-point game. It was 35-34 after all of that. And you're like, hang on a second. Jim's taken the under in this game. This is not trending well. Guess what? The under still worked and still hit. But either way, back and forth in the second quarter. You had Toppin missing 3s until he didn't later on. You had this Caruso back cut and OKC led. And you're like, oh, God, for all of the awesome shooting the Indy had, OKC just stuck around. They just stuck around. They stuck around. And the shot diet of Indy is probably the thing that annoyed me the most, right? You had Naismith hit a couple of 3s in this game. But everything, like all the other shots were just so fucking hard. The same thing with Halliburton. He only got going late with a couple of like those big scoopy layups. Everything else was really like just blood out of a stone kind of stuff, right? Turner wasn't getting the many and easy buckets, and it was Obi Toppin who actually stepped up. It was TJ McConnell in this first half as well, finding these junk buckets. But Indy still had 4 turnovers in that second quarter. OKC had 0. You turn around, OKC's up 6, and you're like, Jesus. Without Halliburton, Indy's offense was just falling apart. The defense was stepping up. They were getting these bullshit calls against them. That horrible flagrant call against Toppin, what the fuck was that? And then that was backed up by a bullshit out of bounds call not called on Alex Caruso. But anyway, like Naismith then hits a 3. You get an OKC turnover. You get a flagrant against OKC for the foul on Toppin where he gets whacked across the top of the bonds. Siakam scores after that and we're back to tied. And you're like, aha, swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. And like, I think OKC had another turnover after that. It was like 8-10 in the turnover battle there. Hallie scored off it. Indy were back up. Halliburton gets an and one. He actually got his first foul call basically in this entire final series. Goes to the free throw line. They lead 60-57 at the half. Indy win the first quarter and the first half. Hasn't happened all finals yet. And boom, it's happened. That crowd, I think I tweeted out, this Indy crowd is the most white Midwest shit on 2 beers ever. They're so up and about after like 2 beers. Everything's fine. Like anything could happen. Like they're going to get like tops off. Like you're going to have dudes like taking off their pants. Like everyone just like teetering on that edge of like, I don't drink often, but when I do, it gets a bit fucking squirrely. You know what I'm saying? Like that entire sort of Midwest white vibe. And it sort of did come up in my brain. I'm like, what are the loosest NBA crowds, but also like the whitest, right? Boston's an obvious one. But they're also like just hardcore fucking hoops fans. Dude, like they just fucking love it. My favorite was that Phoenix Suns crowd in the 2022 finals, right? 21 finals, right? Against the Bucks. And it's just like that weird meth hippie vibe. That's just full blown, like, I fucking love Queens of the Stone Age kind of shit. It's just like that desert meth hippie just conglomeration. The Venn diagram. That was like just astral meth heads, that kind of thing. Whereas Indy and OKC, wildly white, but they're so buttoned up. Indy's a little bit more Midwest where it's just like, yeah, but I can have a couple of brewskis and I'm feeling pretty good. Mama's getting loose tonight kind of vibes. And wow, did this game turn once that turned, right? So that crowd fucking, ooh, the sphincters tightened. But the third quarter was awesome. It went for about 1 million hours, it felt like, but it was a really, really, really awesome third quarter. Naismith and Turner got some early buckets. SGA was awesome, though. Bad turnovers were just killing Indy early on, too. And Siakam was just everywhere. He hit a massive 3, put him up 71-64. And the Pacers were out toughing and out playing OKC. SGA had 0 free throws at this point for this game, too. Indy forced a shot clock violation from great defense from Nembhard and Toppin. OKC then turned them back over and scored, which is the classic OKC approach. Nembhard hits his second 3. They're back up 8. And you're like, hang on. Oh, Indy could get on a bit of a run here. SGA finally gets back to the free throw line. Hits one. He's off he goes. Another turnover, though, for Indy on the shot clock violation. And you're like, what the fuck? SGA hits a jumper, and it's a 4-point game. You're like, oh, God. Indy just could not put them away in this quarter. It's like 74-72. And then it gets fucking very interesting. Halliburton's being guarded just up in his shit by Dort, by SGA. Toppin hits a 3. They basically run a bit of a scramble play with Horns to just give Halliburton a hint of space to do something. He gets it to Toppin, bang, 3. Toppin hits another 3. At this point, it's 11 threes to 1, and holy shit, look out. They're up 10. And you're like, oh, God. Indy, can you do the damn thing? The answer is no. Caruso hits a 3. It's only their second 3 of the game at that point. Just as Indy were like, in double digits, this sort of stuff. And SJ starts looking a little bit cooked by the end of this third quarter after they force like the 24-second violation and then an 8-second backcourt violation. You're like, oh, ho, 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 Indy taking control. That crowd is going off their fucking head. And then J-Dub hits a really, really, really important bucket after Toppin misses 2 free throws, which is a big thing with this Indy team, which I'll talk about in a second. J-Dub hits the last bucket of the third quarter and makes it 87-80. And that was just such a huge little fucking moment of like, Indy could have been up almost double figures if that hadn't have happened. If Toppin had to hit his free throws, if they had gotten something else going, J-Dub hits that shot. They go into the fourth quarter up 7, and at that point, the Pacers, I think, were 7-1 in the playoffs when they go into the fourth quarter up 7. The one that they lost was a Game 3 in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks where they completely fell apart on offense. And, oh, geez, that sounds familiar because it's exactly what happened today. Up 7 points, and then they completely fall apart in the end of this fourth quarter because it was such an awesomely played sort of just nitty-gritty, we know the counter to the counter to the counter to the counter kind of game, right? Like, these are two boxes that just know what these, the other one's going to do at this point. You have just out of nowhere, OKC just go, hey, look at this. It's Chet Holmgren. He's 7'40". Maybe he can do some shit. He gets an O board, gets a bucket, gets another offensive rebound, put back. It's 89-88. Indy turn it over and boom, before you fucking blink, Caruso's back at the free throw line and OKC tie it up. And from that moment on, we go bucket for bucket for like the next 6 minutes until Indy just stopped scoring. They just stopped scoring. They stopped running stuff. Halliburton was like always sort of trying to hunt down this SGA matchup, but they were just in scramble mode, it felt like, for the final 4 minutes of this game, because up until then, like, you've got these Halliburton layups that are coming high off the glass. It's 91-89. J-Dub answers. Nembhard gets a bucket. They get a stop on a Case and Wallace turnover. Miles Turner hits free throws. They're up 95-91. You're like, hang on a second. Chet gets another scramble bucket off like I think it was another miss. And then he gets a block. J-Dub ties it up. And you're like, just as quickly as that, a 4-point lead is gone because Indy just haven't concentrated hard enough at that point. Hallie goes high off the glass again. SGA hits another bucket in the paint. Halliburton hits free throws. They force a turnover. Halliburton gets a 3 blocked by SGA. Naismith catches it. He hits free throws. It's 101-97 with under 4 minutes to go. And then it gets fucked for Indy from then on, right? I think what happens at this point, you get SGA free throws. Halliburton hits another layup. It's 103-99. You're still up 4. And then SGA hits a 3. It's 103-102. OKC, I think, got to that point at 3 of 17 from downtown. Chet blocks the shit out of Nembhard. And this was the big problem. Like, Nembhard was probably doing too much going at Caruso. Chet's coming to help. And it just felt like Indy's plan was essentially, oh God, I hope this goes in. You had Turner missing you had Turner missing threes. You had just all this like weird scrambly bullshit. SJ hits this beautiful baseline jumper where he pushes off, slips, falls backwards, nails the shot. It's 104-103. SJ hits a couple of free throws, his 3-pointer, and then that jumper. 7 straight points for him, and they're up with 2 minutes 20 left. Indy turn it over again. Dort gets free throws, misses the first one. It's 105-103. Halliburton airballs a 3 with 1 minute 40 left. And he does this twice, right? Where he sort of is hunting these Chet mismatches and stuff like that. And he's taking the step backs. And guess what happens when you're stepping back? You're getting further away from the bucket, and both the shots are short. It's the end of the game. I'm not going to lie, I expected all of the Halliburton shots to go in because that's just what he does now, right? Clutch as, but misses them all. At that point, at 140 left, it was a 25-16 fourth quarter, and it did not get any better. There's a massive possession then for Indy. Nembhard misses a long 2, and it's just a horrible shot after like breakdown after breakdown, scrambling through all these different options where Turner's trying to set a fucking screen. Nembhard runs into him. Halliburton's just hanging out there, just going, what the fuck you idiots doing? It all falls apart. Naismith has this horrible foul on a SGA shot with 0.3 of a second left on the shot clock. Just didn't need a foul. He'd already made him take a horribly tough shot. If he hits it, he hits it. Naismith fouls out. 44 seconds left. They're up 4 after SGA hits both those free throws. And then the Benny Mathurin show kicks in out of nowhere, where he gets the offensive rebound from a horrible missed 3 from Miles Turner, and he misses both free throws. Then he gets called for a foul on the inbounds. Free throw on the ball back. They're down 5. Indy, it's completely fallen apart. Indy steals the inbound. Mathurin is fouled. He misses another fucking free throw and gets called for another inbound foul. What the fuck was going on? I think I tweeted out Mathurin pulling the full Jonte Porter. Yeesh. Absolutely brutal. Because if you hit your free throws from this point on, really, in what ends up being a 7-point loss, you are still right there at the very, very, very end, because they end up shooting 25 of 33 from the free throw line. Now, I'm no math magician, but if you miss 8 free throws and you lose by 7 points, something's done fucked up, Jim. I'll tell you what, you're not wrong. So, Benny Mathurin completely cooks it for the Pacers right down the stretch. Halliburton's completely nowhere to be seen. Naismith's fouled out. Turner can't hit a fucking shot. Obi Toppin's already gone. Nembhard's doing absolute yeoman's work on fucking SGA. SGA hits free throw at the very end, and it's a 12-1 run in the last 3 minutes 20 from OKC. They win it. They tie up the series 2-2. What a game it was. Absolutely insane for your Saturday morning, right? So to wrap it all up, like Siakam had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals, and was somehow absolutely fucking nowhere to be seen in the second half. Like, in the third quarter, I mentioned he hit that massive 3, did a couple of little good things, and then they just go, oh, well, we're not going to do that again. Why would we? Naismith goes 2 of 9 for his 8 points, but he had 9 rebounds, fouls out, did a really good job, I thought, on SGA for the vast majority of this game. He grifted his way to his 30-plus, but still, 12 points for Miles Turner, 0 of 6 from downtown. What a fucking wild disappointment this series has been for Miles Turner. Like, apart from the blocks and the defensive stand in Game 3, the offense has gone completely off the boil. He was a -6 in 30 minutes. He had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists for Andy Nembhard. He had 18 points, 7 assists, and 2 rebounds on 7 of 15 shooting for Halliburton, but 1 of 7 from downtown. Brutal. So the 18 points, probably a little bit more than I thought he'd get to. 7 assists, a little bit lower than I thought he'd get to. 5 turnovers. Brutal gear. Nembhard with the 4 turnovers as well. Not very good. They end up losing the turnover battle despite smoking them in the three-point battle, right? OKC only hit 3. They hit 11. But the problem was, as I said, right? It's like midway through the third quarter, they're like, oh, we've hit 11 threes. They've only got like 2. They didn't hit another 3 the rest of the game. Tough gear. Obi Toppin, ain't no stopping. Obi Toppin, he was really good. 17 and 7, but somehow ends up a -15 for 29 minutes. He had 8 points for TJ McConnell. Again, doesn't score in the second half. Had a couple of interesting looks, misses them all. Indy Delhi. 8 and 2 for Benny Mathurin, but he goes 5 of 8 from the free throw line. So I think he was, 4 of 4 going into those last couple of trips in the line. Misses 3 of 4, cooks the Pacers. 3 points for Ben Shepherd. He hit the 1-3 that he took. So they end up shooting 11 of 36 from downtown, which is only 30% obviously. And it's just brutal gear. They lose the rebounding battle by 10 to the Pacers, 33-43. And they lose the turnover battle, 15-13. It's just not a recipe for success, right? They win the 3-pointers by such a huge margin, 3-11, but they can't just sort of solidify it and bring it home and put it over the top because they just didn't have a backup plan, it felt like, for a bunch of this sort of stuff. There was nothing in the paint, nothing apart from Halliburton, like these scoop layups. They couldn't get O-boards. They couldn't get anything going on, out in transition, obviously. So for the Thunder, you have 35 points, 0 assists for SGA. Oh, Jesus. 3 rebounds, 10 of 10 at the free throw line. J-Dub has 27, 7 and 3. A really interesting 27-point game. He goes 0 of 3 from deep, which was just shocking gear, but 11 of 11 at the free throw line. 14 and 15 for Chet. He was really, really good, but still went 0 of 2 from downtown, but 4 of 9 from the floor, 6 of 6 at the line. He was hustling. He was like a really good release valve. He had 4 offensive rebounds, which were huge because it felt like he scored off all of them. He had Dort hit 1-3, end up with 6 points. He had 20 points from Caruso off the bench. He was huge. He goes 5 of 7 to the line, 1 of 2 from downtown, 7 of 9 from the floor overall, because the bench elsewise did fuck all. Kenrick Williams had 4 points. He had 2 points from Cason Wallace and 1 of 5 shooting. And Aaron Wiggins, another tough 8 minutes for him, 0 of 3. So he's gone 0 of 8 in his last 18 minutes in these NBA Finals. But it doesn't matter. 3 of 17 from the floor. They went to the line 38 times. 5 more times. They shot 5 more free throws than Indy on the road. Huge moment. And now they're 6-0 after a loss in these playoffs. It's just what OKC does. It sucks. They win the battle of the rebounds, as I mentioned. They only had 10 assists in this game, which is probably a bit of a worry for OKC. But to win this despite only having 10 assists and going so ISO heavy with SGA, J-Dub and co, it's massive. Holding the Pacers to 17 points while you scored 31 in that fourth quarter, huge. The defense kicks in the end of the fourth quarter, completely frazzled Indy. Indy fall apart. It's 2-2. It's a 3-game series for the NBA Finals. You little ripper. All right, let's do an NBA Australia Approved Performer of the Night.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Yeah, it was SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 35 points, 15 points in the fourth quarter. And it got to a point where we're sort of sitting there watching this game going, this is have some interesting conversations about OKC if they blow this game. Jesus, go down 3-1, look out. But he comes up big late. All the free throws, all the grifting, but especially like that baseline shot where he's like pushed off. They don't call it, which is fine. Slips backwards and hits the shot. It was such a massive moment. That and the 3 with the free throws. That little 7-0 run that he had by himself. That's MVP shit. That's why you win MVPs. And it's why you could very easily have them as an NBA fucking title winner. So 35 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists. The first time I think since the bubble he's had a game with 0 assists. Only 2 turnovers as well, right? Remember last game he had 6 turnovers. Kept that under control. Like Naismith and Nembhard did a pretty good job on him until they just didn't. They'd sort of really corralled him and like, boom. I think he only had 3 points like early on in the fourth quarter. It's like, oh God, are they going to do the thing? And then he sort of just kicked into gear down the stretch, looked fresh up because there was that moment towards the end of the third quarter where he's like short arming shots, everything sort of dropping a little bit shorter, and then boom. They even mentioned on the broadcast, like getting to the free throw line, it just gives him another minute to rest, right? He's just sort of hanging out there, a couple of deep breaths, going, God damn, I'm cooked, mate. Bit tired. Should be right. And away he goes. 35-3, 3 steals and a block. That block that he had on Halliburton is going to pop up again in a second, but God damn. Who was Spud of the night, Jim?
Spud. It is Spud of the night.
Pretty tough to call Benny Mathurin the Spud of the night when he has 8 points and 1 of 2 shooting. He hits 1 or 2 from the free throw line. But it kind of does also lead very nicely into a bit of the old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Because one of the classic tenets of old mate, no mates is like jumping on the team bus. As you walk through the center aisle of the bus, everybody sort of looks at you and goes, oh yeah, here's fuckhead. Bit of old mate, no mates. Like Benny Mathurin wins them game 3. Absolutely massive. He also essentially cost them game 4. Oh, geez, Jim, it's a bit hard. There's 5 players on the court. Yeah, but only one of them missed 3 of 4 free throws in the final couple of minutes of the game and committed 2 different fouls on inbounds, which cost them another 2 points and giving the other team the ball back. Like, it was absurd gear, which is why I tweeted out he's going full Jonte Porter. And I think someone else responded, he's going full Nick Anderson. It's like, yes, but they weren't leading. They were sort of down, so he's not out there icing the game and missing all the free throws. But the old mate, no mates, is the Benny Mathurin going, oh God, what am I doing? I've completely cooked this. And he did cook it. He absolutely cooked it. The inbound fouls were absolutely brutal. It's just like, these are just moments where you're like, just don't foul. It's really hard. Some bullshit ticky-tack stuff in there, but come on. Otherwise, like the other sort of spud of the night has got to be all of the OKC 3-point shooting, right? Like 3 of 17. And to win that game, despite just complete ineptitude from downtown, is quite fucking remarkable. Like, holy shit. 0 of 2 from Chet, 0 of 3 from J-Dub, 1 of 4 from Shea, only 1 of 1 from Dort, 0 of 1 from Kendrick Williams, 1 of 2 for Caruso, 0 of 1 for Isaiah Joe, and 0 of 1 for Aaron Wiggins before the final 0 of 2 from Cason Wallace. To win that game in the NBA in 2025, hitting 3 threes is absolutely fucking absurd and amazing. So I guess they sputtered up from downtown and managed to sort it out everywhere bloody else. The other final old mate, no mates is the two legends who we'll get to in a second, who were in the Dumb and Dumber suits wearing the Stephen A. Smith and the Kendrick Perkins chains, which is just pretty funny. And then old mate, no mates, pantsing of the night, once we get to that, is Stephen A. Smith being busted playing fucking solitaire on his phone during an NBA Finals game that he's meant... What are we doing here? Apparently it wasn't even during a commercial break or a timeout. He was just gave zero fucks. I mean, what are we doing? I hope it's fake, because what the hell was that?
What was that? What the hell was that?
Absolutely amazing. The other sort of pantsing of the night is J-Dub getting his 3 blocked by Obi Toppin. Pretty tough. But then Halliburton getting his 3 blocked by SGA. I don't remember seeing so many threes getting blocked like in a playoff series before. It's incredible. And I'm enjoying it a lot. All right, finally, better than Bronny James / Lonzo Ball / Ben Simmons.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. You just want to give a little bit of love to Andy Nemhard, who I thought still played a really good game. He played 36 minutes. He was a +3 for this game, right? A game they lose by 7. He's a +3 in 36 minutes. So they lose the 12 minutes that he doesn't play by 4. And it's just, no, they'd lose that by 10, wouldn't they? It'd be a flip round. So he ends up with 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. The 4 turnovers a bit tough. 4 of 9 from the floor, 2 of 4 from downtown. He was super solid. He did everything he could. A couple of those other shots a little bit janky, a little bit wonky as well. And I didn't want to dump on Naismith for going 2 of 9 or Turner 3 of 10 and 0 of 6 from downtown, because I think defensively they did a shit ton of work. But still, you can't have 2 of your starters combining to go 5 of 19 and 2 for 11 from downtown, really. It's pretty fucking tough. All right, there you go. We might... should we do a bit of a Magic Tweet of the Week? We didn't do one yesterday. So I reckon we might just have a look and see what Magic's been up to. It's everyone's favourite time, isn't it? Magic Tweet of the Week. I always have the best time when I'm on First Take with my great friend Stephen A. Smith and the super talented Molly Querum. We covered a range of topics this morning. It was such an amazing time. Thanks, Magic. And the legends of the weekend.
Dickhead of the Week!
It's Stephen A. Smith if he was actually playing solitaire. If he wasn't, still, it's funny. But the legends of the week are got to be the 2 awesome dudes in the Dumb and Dumber suits who ESPN did absolutely fucking everything within their power to never show on screen. That's how legendary that was. It was also, it's a bit sketchy when you're dressed in the Dumb and Dumber. You've got the Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. chains. But it was pretty cool. So, well played. Legends of the week for me. All right, let's take a quick break, come back with some yeah-nahs and a preview for Game 5 right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA
and you're
Australia.
listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs brought to you by you. That's right, you can sign up to the NBA Australia Dead Set Legends Club, which is awesome. With the buy us a coffee, shout us a beer link in our bio. Go check that out. if you sign up to the membership bit, which is fucking cheap as, you get a unique podcast each month that'll be very specific and very fun. The first one's going to be ranking all of the NBA finals since like 1980, I think it is, which I've been working on. So a little bit of a sort of longer term sort of thing. You get that. Go sign up. Link in the bio. Thanks to Mickey C for joining up as well yesterday, I think. Legendary gear. Thanks to all the legends who have already signed up or donated. You all rock. Thanks for the shouting of the coffees and the beers. Right, let's do some yeah nahs. Number 1. Did Indy just blow its best chance to win the NBA Finals, Jim? Yeah, nah. They blew their best chance to go up 3-1 because now they don't have a chance to go up 3-1, do they? Yeah. It was a bit fucking tough. Because the 12-1 down the stretch, and I wanted to do this before, but I'd sort of already covered all so much of the sort of play-by-play in the game wrap. But the play-by-play down the stretch for the Pacers in this 12-1 run is so fucking brutal. So after Halliburton makes that little shot in the paint to go up 103.99, that's when they get outscored 12-1 down the stretch. So there's like 3 minutes 20 left. SGA hits his 3. Caruso blocks a Nemhard like jumper in the paint. It was not great. It was like kind of just this wannabe sort of layup on the far side. It was brutal. SGA hits a beautiful little jumper. Pacers call the timeout. OKC's up. It's just these 5 points out of fucking nowhere. Boom, SGA. That's his like little 7-0 run. Not 7-0 run. 7-point run by himself. Turnover from Miles Turner. Brutal gear. Dort gets the steal, then gets fouled on the leak out. Hits 1 or 2 at the free throw line. Halliburton misses the 3-pointer. Just shit shot. It was a really, really bad shot. Just so short. It was hilarious. J-Dub misses, so they got a chance here. And then that's that massive, massive, massive possession where it turns into like a Nemhard just pull up long 2. That's egregiously shit. Then we get the Naismith foul on SGA when it's like, don't foul there. Then you got the Miles Turner miss 3. You have the just Benny Mathurin, like Turner misses that 3. Mathurin gets the ball back. You're only down 4 at that point. Mathurin misses both of those free throws. That's why he wins Spud of the night, because seriously, I can't just bash home how big those 2 free throws, those first 2 were. You're only down 4. You hit those 2. You're in the game. He misses both. Boom. Guess what has to happen then? You're in the foul game. SGA is just hitting free throws. Off they go. But not even that. They foul before the inbound. And of course, SGA hits it. They then get the turnover. Benny Mathurin misses the next fucking free throw. So they've just basically blown 3 points when they were down 4. Then it was down 5 because of the inbound one. But they blew 3 points when they end up being down 5 with 20 seconds left until Mathurin hits that 4th free throw. And SGA, again, away from the play foul, boom. SGA makes it. They're down 5. They have to foul out. SGA, boom. It's just such egregiously bad execution from Indy that, yeah, it's not hyperbole to go, you blew a really fucking amazing chance to go up 3-1 in the NBA Finals, because we've seen 2-1 where it turns on a dime, a series. We've talked about the 2015 Warriors time and time again. They did it against the Grizzlies. I was at that game 4 where they kicked the ever-loving fuck out of Memphis to go up back to 2-2 and then just steamrolled from there on. They did it. Remember, the Cavs obviously did it in 16. The 2015 Warriors were down 2-1 to the Cavs and then like 1 out from there as well. This is the thing. We're so reactive, but the Pacers, that was such a fucking clear and obvious opportunity where you're up 4 with only a couple of minutes left in an NBA Finals game and you can't execute. And the ball, just the 3 from Turner, the 3 from Halliburton, everything short, the Nemhard shot, and then the kick in the dick and the Mathurin 3 throws. Brutal gear. So yes, they blew an amazing chance to go up 3-1. Did they blow the finals? Yeah, nah. This is the Pacers. There's a reason why I keep picking them. Just that never say die thing. The fact that they did die today, it's a little bit of a worry though, because that was just They look so fucking good midway through the third quarter. Those top and threes are dropping. They don't hit another three the rest of the way. And that's where it gets all fucky. If the offense, the shots don't drop, what's your sort of like next plan to get something going? The free throws, if Benny Mathurin hits them, maybe it's a little bit of a different look, but otherwise, brutal. The other one is OKC. Are they just going to win out from here, Jim? Yeah, nah. It's hard not to think that, right? So, staring down the barrel of 3-1. You're staring down the barrel. You're like, oh, God, we're going to be down 3-1 going home. Now it's 2-2, and you've got 2 of the remaining 3 games at home. Like, OKC should win this finals from here. It's 2-2. It's a 3-game series now. And 2 of those games are on your home court. They now also know that, look, yeah, we struggle on the road, but we've won one in Indy. We're feeling all right. So OKC 4-2, everyone's feeling pretty good about that. But come on, Indy, I still believe. Zachy Boo, the legend. Yeah, nah, is Hartenstein the Rudy Gobert of OKC? Yeah, nah. Nah, he had a couple of... To be honest, he and Rudy basically play the same amount stretch of these big playoff games, don't they? So I guess he is, yeah. Like, you have these moments early on in the game where they both look really good. Defensively, they're doing lots of shit for you, and it's really important. And then not much else aside from that. Yeah, it's not bad. And Brett Pierce, Jim. Yeah, nah, getting Simo into 3-point contest and also would be the funniest shit ever. At least that way we'll find out if Maya Jama really blew his back out. Yes. I now want to make it my life's mission to get Ben Simmons in a 3-point contest. That is just the concept of it. Because, and hear me out, you can't tell me that this wouldn't be maybe the best way to get Ben Simmons' confidence back. Are you kidding? Just go, Ben. You are locked in for next year's 3-point contest. You are going to completely fucking embarrass yourself on an international stage unless you work on your shot. You can't tell me that Box Hill Benny wouldn't be in the fucking lab shooting a million fucking threes just to avoid being just completely embarrassed in front of the entire world. You know? I'm just saying, let's make this happen. This might be the greatest way to turn his career around. Just go, right, we're making you shoot threes now, Ben. And he's like, oh, God, I'm going to look like such a fool. Fucking cry more. Anyway, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Indy in 6. Oh, we're so reactive. Oh, OKC's going to win it out now. Jim, it's 4-2 OKC. Is it? All Indy have done have defied expectations all the way through this run. I reckon we're going 7. Oh, yeah. I reckon we are. All right. What do you reckon? Shout out. Send through some yeah-nahs as well so we can bang them in Monday's preview show. And then finally, let's do a bit of an Outback Takehouse. It's Saturday at Outback. You know what that means? Full price on fucking everything. That's right. No specials today, mate. Sucked in, dickheads. Load up. This is how we make our cash and pay our rent. Only at Outback. And today's Flame Grill take is... If OKC had have gone down 3-1, it was the basketball gods punishing them for taking my beloved Seattle Supersonics away, and they were never going to win an NBA title. Now it's 2-2. That looks a little bit sketchier, but I'm going to stick with it. The Oklahoma City Thunder will never win an NBA title until the Seattle Supersonics are back in the NBA. Only at Outback. I just want to believe. I just want to believe. All right, Patty Mills Game Day Baller Game Day Twitter check-in before we get to a very brief preview for Tuesday's next game. It's so far away, but at the same time, I'll pay that. Patty with the good hair. Oh, there's another good one. Build from the roots up. Lead from with identity. Play with pride. So it's just Patty doing more. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Coach Gannott. And our relationship does go back a long way. But I think that's, you know, the course of our relationship at UH and the moments that we've been able to share what I feel like grow. So basically it's Paddy talking about his GM of the University of Hawaii basketball, which is awesome. And he's making a really, really, really interesting career decision. We'll see. Hopefully we'll see him on the court again as well, but still, that's really exciting. Also, very brief Australian play watch. No Johnny Furphy in today's game. Not a surprise there. Another did not play, coach's decision. It was a close one. Right. Should we do a bit of a game preview for Tuesday? Game preview. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Oh, yeah, not bad. Indy going 12-1 down the stretch really hurt my heart because we had, Indy plus 6.5 and they lose by fucking 7. Seriously. We were 3 of 3 so far in the NBA Finals and they fucked us. Oh, Indy, you're killing me. But anyway, Tuesday, 10:30 a.m. So we will do a Monday preview show that'll break down this entire game. And you can obviously follow all the vibes and all the picks and everything we've got over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Follow along. Sign up using the link in our show description or the link in our bio as well. It'd be very much appreciated. Help keep the pirate ship afloat. But the Thunder are 9.5-point favorites at home for Game 5. 9.5. That is so many points in an NBA Finals game. Seriously, it is absolutely chaotic. But at the same time, I mean, you think about Game 2. They won that, by 16? So 123-107 after a Game 1 loss. They have won Game 4. They go into this one big favorites. Could it be very similar to what happened with the Wolves where they win by 2 in Game 4 and then close them out in Game 6 and win by 30? Maybe. For the minute, though, I think I'm probably still going to take Indy plus 9.5. I don't think they're afraid of the Thunder. Indy now coming off a loss on the road. The disappointing part of it is like Turner and Naismith just not quite having enough juice on offense to really, really, really help like Siakam and Halliburton get over the hump in these last 2 games. Well, they get over the hump in Game 3, but they really need to step up. I'm still going to take the Pacers plus 9.5, I think, for the minute. But we will break down all of that on our Monday show. We'll go into all the player stuff that we like as well. But for the minute, I think it's Indy plus 9.5. Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let us know what you reckon. I can't wait. Game 5s. Always amazing. Always amazing. But that's it. I think that'll do us. We all finished? I think we might be. What a game. OKC from the clouds. It looked like they were cooked, looked like they were done, and then they weren't. Indy just going, how do we play offense again? They did it against the Knicks in Game 3 where they completely fell apart. They did it in Game 4 this time. We'll see what happens in Game 5. All right, so we'll be back on Monday for a preview for Game 5 show, which will be like, 20, 30 minutes or something. I might even try to get a guest on. Who knows? See what happens. Either way, we'll still have a video, of course, going out before Game 5 as well. So make sure you're following NBA Australia on Twitter, Facey, IG, YouTube, TikTok, all the good stuff. Check us a rating review on your podcast app, Apple Podcast, YouTube Music now, isn't it? Spotify, whatever app you're using your Android phone. It really does help out, so really have at it. Comment, subscribe, review, star it, all that. Please help. Just anything you can do would be appreciated. Big thanks always go to From Ozo for the intro and outro song, They Rule. So do Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sextrato, Green, and Dozers, as well as House Hats. They're behind all the tunes you hear. You can listen to them on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. NBA Australia Sports Australian Bands. And also, you can help support the show. Buy us a coffee, shout us a beer. The link is in our bio across all the socials. Or, obviously, jump on Dabble. Use the code NBA Straight. Sign up using the link in our show description or the link in our bio as well. Much appreciated. All right, that's it for today. We'll be back on Monday, you dickheads, for a Game 5 preview. Oh, Pacers, you're breaking our hearts. What are you doing? All right, we will catch you then, you dickheads. This is NBA Australia saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let a hose on. Come on, Pacers. G'day, legends. You mate Jim from NBA Straya here. That's right, I'm doing a thing at the end of the show. In the business, we call it a thing at the end of the show, I guess. I don't know. Either way, all I'm just saying is just make sure you're rating, reviewing, starring, subscribing across all of the apps that you use for NBA Straya. Jump in the comments, give us a shout. We'll bang you in yeah, nahs. Any other questions? I'll have a crack. I've got nothing better to do, basically. Also, just ask any questions, tell me what you want to hear from the show, and sing out and let us know. And of course, if you want to help support the show, jump on the old dabble, use that code NBA Straya, click on the link that's in the show description or on the socials. It goes up whenever I do the morning vibes, etc. So, if that's your thing, jump on there, use that code NBA Straya, and remember, look after yourselves, would you?
This house feels empty.